What's up, people? Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. We've had a few wonderful games in the Champions League, and we're looking forward to another great weekend in the Premier League. Of course, it is Chelsea hosting Manchester City, the massive game at the weekend, among others. Some spicy ones to get to tonight. But at first, let's go ahead and get the likes up on the video. Subscribe if you're new. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. We are on our way to 200 subscribers. And let's go ahead and jump into it. Big one for Chelsea, at least. I don't know how City fans are feeling. Is it going to be tough? Is it not going to be tough? Chelsea at home, big win over Tottenham on Monday. You love to see that. Are we bringing the momentum, X? We'll start with you. You're the home team. What are you saying?
Bridge is always kind of a special. I would like to. It's lost a little bit of its luster from last season, but you can never just walk into the Bridge.
I mean, you've beaten Luton and no one else in 13 games.
Right. But it's just that it's the home field. The Bridge is a special place. There's a little bit of Bridge magic to be had. Just about either we get super lucky on not getting scored on, or we get lucky and get one. The Conor Gallagher goals and the Mudryk goals and just the shouldn't be's. But Tottenham got one at home that shouldn't have been as well. I don't think their first goal was to be counted for. But yeah, I think we're gonna bring the momentum, man. I think it's it's City. We play up. We tend to do worse against teams that are under us. It's just I don't know where we've gotten it, but it's just been the motif over the last couple of years, man. We always play down. We play up. We show up for these games. And it makes me so upset when, if we played a smidge like we played against Tottenham, against Brentford, that wouldn't have, we'd have 6 points heading into this rougher side of our gap.
Well, to be fair, Ange's suicidal tactics kind of helped.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know why. I mean, I understand playing the super high line against unexperienced strikers, trying to frustrate them.
Hey, but they were brave. What a brave performance from those men, from Chicken Royale in the center back. Just you got to hand it to him, man, for the spirit, for the fight of the 4-1 loss.
I think it. To be said, though, playing 9 and parking the bus is not that great of an idea either, because there's going to be, when you park the bus and hit a super low block with 11 guys, is a lot different than the space you're going to have with 9 on the kick out, on the return of those passes, on the press that's going to meet you. You're inviting just as bad. I think it's two sides, one way.
I mean, Brentford might disagree with you.
I don't think you play any team, I don't think you super low block any team like that. I think you still try to play your game, play out, but they didn't do that either. They, like I said, I understand lining up like that against Sterling, Jackson, and Mudryk, because they're offsides 9 times out of 10 in a regular game. They can't handle that.
But you're not seeing anything near that on Sunday.
No. Unless we can get Rodri to try to choke somebody again.
Just go full Diego Costa, Jamie Tart, try to get somebody thrown out.
Yep. Or if they start Kovacic, I think there's a little bit of a
Agent Kova.
Yeah, so he's probably won't start the game, but I do think we bring it to City. I think we play them our style. We try to press them in. I think we let our midfield try to run. We're gonna get outclassed, so you're gonna have to depend on Caicedo and Gallagher hustling, which is worrisome. But again, it's at the Bridge. If we get one early, we'll grind it out. We'll sit a little bit and try to possess the ball. And like I said, we have a lot of hustle, but they do outskill us in about 9 positions out of the 11.
Ooh, I just see this here, Lewis. Johnny Stone's out again?
Yeah, he got a hamstring thing.
Oh, no.
That happened in the Young Boys game. They pulled him at half.
Oh, no. Sidelined for a while.
Yeah, he probably won't be back in January.
Yeah.
So where does that leave the midfield on Sunday? Is Kova going to play? Does that mean Kovacic comes in?
Oh, dude,
No,
that's the game.
no,
That's the game.
no, no.
Still Rodri, Bernardo,
There's a
Foden.
flip up if Kova comes in.
Like, for example, Alvarez didn't play. I mean, people forget about him, but Alvarez didn't play in the last game either. They're completely fine in the midfield. No issues.
So you're saying Bernardo, Rodri, Alvarez, he'll probably play Grealish, Holland, and Foden.
Yep,
Yeah.
they're fine.
Yeah, Chelsea aren't going to see the ball.
Mm-mm.
How low of a block is Poch going to play?
I mean, you can't.
I mean, you've got the speed to do some counterattacking.
Yeah, I think we play him at kind of the top of the 18. I don't think you can give Silva too much more than that gap running back against these guys, because even Holland's quick, man. Like, he's big, but he's still quick, and
now he's starting to score goals that are shutting all the tap-in people up. The third goal versus Young Boys was nice.
Unless
Spicy.
Thiago has another, kidney to give the crypt keeper, I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna do this game. I don't even know if Pochettino plays Silva in this game.
I mean, the sassy look has looked okay. I don't know. It's Holland though. He's got it. Holland is in Poch's head right now. Like, how am I gonna stop this man?
Yeah, it's I mean, you can't.
I think
divide. I think that's the crux, right? You can't devise. Give him his one. Like, I think as a manager, if I'm running up against Holland with this Chelsea squad, I don't think any manager needs to play to, hey, we need to stop Aaron Holland. I think that's what gets these boys in trouble when they go to play City, because they get in that mindset, and it's not Holland that's going to kill you. It's not. It's everything happening behind him. And if you get so sidetracked and to worry about him and stick a defender in his pocket, yeah, it works. You shut him down, but then you give Foden his space. You give Alvarez his space. You give.
I think the main man that Chelsea need to worry about is Rodri, because the way Arsenal stopped City, or not Arsenal, but the way traditionally I would stop City. Rodri didn't play in the Arsenal game, obviously, but the way we tried to stop him in the Community Shield was not letting him have the ball at all. So Conor Gallagher is going to be really, really, really important, especially if Poch thinks about this one, looks at it and says, all right, just stay in his pocket. Just don't let Rodri have any space. Don't let him get on the ball. And then it's going to be really important for the likes of Palmer to make sure Bernardo doesn't then give space. The team press is going to be really important, but I would say you probably want to focus on keeping Rodri off the ball.
And I think we start the game. I think we go first 20. Again, we kind of lost the plot. Tottenham game was weird. It was weird.
They lost the plot, and then it was just crazy.
It was weird before, because their goal we looked better. Their goal happened. We looked way worse.
We all were super intense, and then they kind of like, oh, it's like that.
Yeah, and then they went. Yeah. Then they throttled it, and it was just
full send.
It was full send. Yeah. It worked. It worked. So yeah, if Connor can say whatever he said to whoever he said it to on the Tottenham game, I do think it's Caicedo. Connor's going to be super important with his press. I think we try them. I think we come out and play that in the first 15. I think that's the game plan running out the gate. I worry about it because when City smacks us to 1-0 in the first 6,
you ain't coming back.
We're not play. Then we won't play. But then we won't let the game continue like that. We'll slow the game all up. We'll give them the ball. We'll play our defense. We'll we'll limp it to the end.
And that's what they want.
Right? And so it's like. So it's if you beat, and I said it all last year, the way you beat City is within that first 15 to 20 minutes of this game. You have to get out early. You have to continue to play your football, because if you let City dictate the game and get their hands on the control, possession, getting you off of your normality, like when they play Brighton, Brighton tries to play them open, smack. It's just.
I'm looking at these statistics here, man. Y'all haven't scored in 5 attempts for City. You have not scored a goal
since Tuchel. Yeah,
you haven't scored
Thomas
at all.
Tuchel, the Champions League final, was the last.
You're
time
right.
We scored.
Kai Havertz was the last person.
Kai Havertz was the
to
last
score a
person.
Chelsea goal versus Man City. Oh man. Well, what does that mean, Lewis? In the center there. I mean, is who starts along? Is it going to be like Lewis inverting, or is it going to be just a straight up, Gvardiol, Ake, Akanji, Diaz? What are you thinking?
Well, Walker's going to start. So
Walker will start. Yeah.
Walker will start. Diaz will start. I'm not sure if he'll play Akanji and Gvardiol together. If he does, he likes Akanji to play the Stones position. But I mean, obviously Gvardiol can play that position, but he doesn't like to do it from the left. So he tends to do it from the right side. So I don't know. Maybe it's a shift. I'm not really.
I mean, we've even seen Kyle Walker do the inverted thing from the right before as well.
But he tends
on occasion.
He tends to do it from the right. That's why, even though Gvardiol would be the first candidate just because of his skills that he could do it. The lean is towards Akanji, but if he plays Gvardiol and Ake together, then Gvardiol will do it, and then Gvardiol will just play it from the center, and Akanji will cover the left, and then it'll be Akanji, Diaz, and Walker as the back three, with Gvardiol and Rodri. Then Bernardo will be in front of them. And then you'd have Alvarez, Foden, and Thor.
Yeah. So Thor and Foden's son will. So be real. Cast your humble Lewis aside. Are you even a little bit worried? Even a little bit, I mean, besides it's 11v11 any given day stuff. Y'all should be smacking them.
It's an away game. I mean, you got to look at it. I mean, this Chelsea team is not the Chelsea team that we've played. I mean, X brought up the point, you brought it up too, that the Chelsea that City has played has been under I think 3 different managers at the time. So I mean, you don't know what style you're going to get against them. So I think that really matters. In addition to the fact that and you give them credit, Pochettino and the team is starting to look more consistent, so you have to take them seriously. I think one of the things that I give Pep a lot of credit for is he takes everyone serious. Like when City played against Young Boys, he put a strong team out there because he's like, look, this game matters, right? I mean, yes, it mattered because then you're on 12 points, you secure yourself a spot, but you find a way to make every game matter. And playing Chelsea matters. I mean, if we're looking at the table with Chelsea's in 10th, am I right?
Yeah, Chelsea they made the top half. They've made the top half.
So now your motivation is Chelsea's a top half team. I mean, you got to win because that's the only way you stay on top. And I mean, it's momentum. It's momentum going into the international break, which no one enjoys at all anyways, right? Especially like club managers. Mm-hmm. So you want to get guys kind of flowing and going to play their best until it's time to come back, because City has a run of games that they have to deal with. It includes Chelsea. So, I mean, to take one team not seriously.
You have Pool, Spurs, and Chelsea in 4 games. Yeah. In the next 4 or 5 games. You've got some tough ones.
You have to take them seriously. So I mean, I don't bash Chelsea. I mean, there have been some games where I'm like, what are they doing? Like they had to absolutely bash in the last game, because if they didn't win by 3 goals, then there was something seriously wrong with them. So they needed that. And my mentality is City is always up for a team who wants to play against them. They love those teams. They love them because that means everybody has to play up. And so I'm sure there will be a little bit of motivation because Cole Palmer left, so there's Cole at Chelsea, there's Raheem at Chelsea, and so those guys will be up. So the City guys will be like, hey, they're gonna come at us. So you just want to make sure that you give them a nice nudging to let them know we know you're good players, but you left us. Some voluntarily, some involuntarily, but either way, you left, and we want to play the best we possibly can. I mean, they're going for a repeat Champions League, and for sure they're going for a repeat league. I mean, it would be 4 in a row, which is history. So they're playing for something. And so, yeah, Chelsea matters. I mean, City is dealing with injury issues, and I mean, the team is starting to kind of find form. So you want it. I'm glad to see Grealish is starting to look like Grealish from before, I've sort of campaigned for this when they stuck Grealish. I don't know if you saw in the Young Boys game, but he stuck Grealish in the middle. I'm like, that's the Grealish that everyone's looking for. And he said, in his comments, he said, hey, man, I was putting good balls out there. I expected to have a few more assists. He can see himself in that spot. And
it's interesting and scary because that's like seeing Pep get Doku and Grealish in the same team.
Right. Which you may see. You may see Doku out there on the left side, and then you'll see Foden on the right. And, it just then your whole center is wherever, because, I mean, Grealish holds the ball. I mean, you're just going to chop him and foul him and kick him. And, that's fine. He expects that. But, that's where it's different, where we can control pace of the game and possession. So I'm excited, man. I mean, I mean, it's what it was the old saying before City, I guess, got some history or whatever. But like all City fans were former Chelsea fans, right? Because of the cat,
yeah,
or whatever. So it's fine. I mean, I've
many
always
brothers.
Yeah, I've always respected Chelsea, but I mean, those guys are going out to punch Chelsea in the face.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I heard an interesting take about how Chelsea struggled, I would say, for the first 15 or so minutes after Tottenham went down to 9. They struggled, and I think I put in the chat that I don't know if they so much as struggled with the high line or they were just so surprised that it was such a high line. And they were getting a little antsy, getting a little jumpy with, kind of the playing the ball real soon, not waiting for the deep runners, and getting offside so many times, And in that game, I think that the fact that Chelsea are a young team and they have a little bit of a panic button going on sometimes. I think it was papered over a little bit because Tottenham drew a giant panic button and smashed it really hard, and
they should have been down to 8 men.
Absolutely lost
it. They could have had 7.
I told you they could have forfeited. They could have absolutely forfeited the game due to Reds. But are you worried that against City, who, I mean, City's mentality, like we don't even have to like top-notch stuff, champions across all kinds of competitions. So if anything, are you worried at all about this being another kind of big game, big clash? And if City get an early goal, we were talking earlier about being tough to come back against. If they get an early goal and things aren't, the refs not kind of necessarily going your way, and things tend to
go our way.
Seem to spiral. It's Anthony Taylor. So
happens. Like, I'm not blaming the ref for this game. City are good. If they beat us, they beat us. But we're not going to get any help.
But you're not getting any good calls, for sure.
Help, no.
So say it's 20 minutes in and you're down 2-0. Anthony Taylor has just robbed you guys, and it's all against you. Are you worried at all that they'll lose their heads? That it'll just go really, really wrong, really fast?
I don't see. No, because of where our head is in our defense. They do have a head on them. It's everyone beyond that 18 line. They panic. Enzo panics. I say you're right, dude. Connor panics. When Sterling isn't playing well and doesn't have a goal, we're down late in the game. Mudrik's taking shots from 84 yards out, like not taking touches, or it's the exact opposite where they are so scared to shoot because they know they have to convert this chance that they want to dribble it in and won't shoot the ball at all, and then close off their own angle. Like,
Man, I heard expressions call Mud Dog Ukraine Bolt the other day.
yeah,
So hard.
yes. I mean,
but
he is. He's just all speed.
Does he start?
I would.
Is that what you think you're looking for against? I mean, Kyle Walker and Mud Dog head to head. I'd like to see a sprint. I'd just like a 100-yard dash. Let's just line him up and shoot the gun off and see him run.
I don't think he starts.
So Sterling. It'll be Nico. It'll be Mr. Jackson himself.
Jackson himself is
that is Mr. Jackson to you.
He's getting the start. So it's Palmer, Jackson, Sterling.
Yeah, because he'll stick with Gallagher, Enzo, and
Caicedo. Because you gotta, like you said, I would put preferably Caicedo in Rodri's pocket just because of the size. Rodri will body. Connor's like my size. Rodri would body Connor.
I tend to agree with you. I would rather Caicedo, but see that Caicedo doesn't push up that far.
No.
So when you have the ball,
giant hole.
It creates. But see Connor. So I'll put it this way: Connor can probably play the 6 better than Caicedo can play Connor's role.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So when you have the ball, you'll suffer.
Yeah.
You'll suffer.
We can't afford that because we won't get the ball much. Right.
City, as usual, I think that City will give you an opportunity. Maybe 2.
Sterling, if Sterling gets one early, and he usually does, Sterling gets one early like he has been, and converts it.
Sterling and Cole Palmer, 2-0 Chelsea.
Back 2-0 Chelsea.
Ooh, that's not what I predicted at all.
I'm going with it. That's my heart pick. I need it because of the where we're at in this table. It makes a huge statement to pick up these 3 points. It moving forward because we should have had 3 points against you guys. We gave a game away. We gave 2 points away. I was so upset. So it's not so if we I don't want to live in that, but should have had 2 there. So the run we're on should be at 6 or should be at 9 because I do not agree with losing to Brentford. But
you shouldn't have lost to Brentford.
We didn't show up either. So you know what? If you don't show up against, we say it week in, week out. If you don't show up against Premier League side, you're gonna get. It doesn't matter who it is. Luton,
just that's Liverpool. Yeah,
you're gonna get punished.
Brentford is gonna lose to Poole.
Yes, sadly, right.
That's the only
I don't know,
that
man.
I'm like,
I don't know because if Poole ties Luton. They play like that.
Liverpool lost today to Toulouse.
Oh no!
They beat Toulouse 19-0 or something last week. Absolutely decimated them. It's 5-0. And I just watched the highlights a little bit ago of that one. Looked like a battle, but Liverpool just lost in France. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
3 points puts us in contention with where we need to be for battling for 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 4 is a stretch.
Hey man, I'm cheering for you. I'm an honorary blue on Sunday.
We win when Jake's an honorary blue. I like this. 4-1, 2 red cards to City.
Spurs. Let's see another Rodri choke slam.
All in all, I think it is going to be a very. I would like to see it where Chelsea plays it well enough to where it's open. I want this game to be a little back and forth for us. I don't want City to have control of the ball and pass in circles around Connor because as soon as Connor gets tired, we have no one else to play. We don't have a deep bench when it comes to what's going to happen in the areas. We have a good starter in the midfield. We don't have anybody to back up.
Chukwu is a good backup center midfielder. He's coming in at some solid minutes.
That's
Leslie. True. His name was Leslie, right?
Yeah.
Chukwu. He's been okay coming in there in the center.
He's just so young. I would worry about him in a City game.
You're also young. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's true. But 19 is different than 23, though.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just I worry about it. I'm hopeful because of the run we're on. So I want that momentum's carrying me to be hopeful. But this is what Chelsea's been doing to me the last 3 seasons. They're just blowing the balloon up a little bit, and then Christopher gets hurt, and then the balloon deflates.
Yeah. It's not, we talk about City's run. Well, Chelsea, y'all are in the middle of a run for sure. I think was it Brighton after this, and then Old Trafford after that.
Then Newcastle.
Oh yeah, it's Newcastle before Old Trafford.
Before Old Trafford, yeah.
Oof. Yeah, so I feel like anything at all from this game for Chelsea is massive.
Yeah, 1-1.
It's just massive.
A point out of here, a point against y'all, a point from Arsenal, a point from City. I told you, man, 12 to 15 out of this run. 12 to 15 out of this run puts us in contention for something this season. If we don't get it here, we're gonna have a rough stretch.
That means you can't lose again.
Right.
To any of those teams.
Right. Brentford, I'm telling you, man. I called it when Potter was the manager. I said, look, these are the 6 points you're gonna have to win. There's where you can pick them up. What did we do? We let them go after January. We don't pick them up. We end up almost relegated last season.
Yeah, man. I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. They're too strong. It's a machine. And oh man, I can't even think of like what's he gonna do? How's he gonna, even if you manage to block everybody up, like y'all should have had 12 goals versus Tottenham. Oh, yeah. It's crazy to say you hit 4 last game, and I'm still questioning your finishing ability. You're gonna get 3 chances.
Lusario had himself a game.
Oh yeah. You're going to get 3 chances, man.
I know.
One's going to fall to Nico, one's falling to Jackson, and maybe one falls to Palmer. Do you score?
It's going to be Palmer on one of those nice little left kick-out curlers out the outside of the box.
I'll give you the Palmer goal. City 3-1.
No, man. It's going to be Chelsea 2-1.
You're going Chelsea 2-1. That's the heart pick for sure.
Oh, I'm not betting against the boys. We need the points, man. We need the points.
That doesn't mean you're gonna win.
Yes, it does.
I need Arsenal to win. I need Arsenal to win every game. You know what, guys? Because we said it here on the Cup Chasers. You have to do it now. You better. You got to go out and do it. I know you're listening.
I'm almost picking Burnley this week.
Whoa! Whoa!
I'm just kidding.
Heart pick, man. That was a dagger blow. That was right to my heart.
Anyone above us on the table is getting picked for a loss. Like that's.
I can understand that. I can respect that. Yeah. What you saying, Lewis?
2-0.
2-0. Light work, he says. I will say last year it was 1-0 City, but it was one of those 1-0s where it's like, yeah. We're not really. We don't need to run the score up today. We'll just keep the ball and pass it around. And we're being nice. Is that what you're saying, Lewis? It's gonna be one of those night. We could beat you 7-0, but we'll let it be.
I just think they're gonna go for their early goal and then just control the game after that.
Yeah,
they'll just be fine.
And unfortunately for you, X, I think that strategy, like Lewis says, gonna be no problem. It's but it's all gonna come down. Does Nicholas Jackson take his one chance? Maybe it's a 12th minute goal and Chelsea Mourinho it for the rest of the game.
Park it.
We can only hope. Obviously, Lewis doesn't hope that, but know.
The funny thing is, if that happened, then if Doku doesn't start, that's who you put on, and he's just going to go at them for the rest of the game. So it doesn't matter.
Malo Gusto will come in, fresh legs. He'll take care of Doku, no problem.
Yeah, because I'm actually gonna tell Malo Gusto to come in and get a red card. Just kick him as hard as you can.
Just Romero status.
Just Romero.
Come in and pull a Romero. Yeah, no, we wouldn't wish that on We wouldn't wish that on anybody. No. X might. He's crazy.
For the
Don't
game,
mess with him.
Game, maybe.
Just come in and step on his toe, stub his toe, and then he can't play for just that game.
2 days, and then he's good. Back at it.
Yeah, absolutely. But Chelsea, an absolutely stern test. Going to be an excellent game. I'm looking forward to it. Should be wonderful. But there are plenty of other games to look at this weekend. The Arsenal host Burnley. Old Vince Company coming back to the Emirates.
He's gonna get blasted.
He's going to get blasted. Yeah, I tend to agree. Burnley are so open, and if I really hope that like this isn't the game that Company decides to switch it all up, and he brings low block FC Sean Dycheball to the Emirates, because I'm sitting here like licking my chops. You know, like this is another game where it's not like Sheffield, who are super low blocking it as far as the newly promoted sides. And you know, they play some good stuff, but if Rice continues to play the way he does and Jorginho actually shows up like he did versus Sevilla, and we just boss all the second balls and control the middle of the field, they're not. It's going to be long. It's going to be a long day, especially because Martinelli and Saka seem to have had the leash kind of lengthened a little bit, kind of letting them off a little bit. I don't know if you guys saw the Sevilla match, but I'll start by saying Sevilla were particularly bad, like shockingly poor all across the pitch. That being said, we were just comfortable the whole game, the whole time. Never even got out of second gear. And Jorginho, of all the people on the pitch, has the incisive pass in between the lines. Saka makes a great run behind his defender. One touch across. Jack, old Leandro Trossard. I don't know if you guys are Supernatural fans, but there's a character named Jack who looks remarkably like Leandro Trossard. And so Lauren and I like to call Trossard Jack every time he comes on the pitch, and he's got a nice smooth tap in. I think it's enough that he'll start versus Burnley. I think Eddie's injured anyway. He might be fit for the game, but I would start Trossard anyway. I don't think it matters. Even though Burnley would suit Nketiah, just due to the space that there will be. But I mean, you can say that it'll suit Nketiah, but Trossard can handle the space as well. He'll just let Martinelli and Saka run into it, you know, and feed them in instead. And you could kind of tell that they had lots of freedom in the Sevilla game. Those fullbacks got ran ragged. Got to absolutely run ragged, man. It was bad, and I'm hoping that we see something similar versus Burnley. I don't think Odegaard will be in either, so we'll probably see. We might see the exact same lineup, to be honest with you. Tomiyasu got a little bit of a knock, and I think the game is more suited to Zinchenko's style anyway. You know, having the possession in the midfield. We're not like petrified of any of the wingers.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Koleosho, the guy who still might declare for the USA when he comes time to declare for a national team, is on Zinchenko's side and has looked decent this season. Might even be one of their best this season. But Zinni has actually played better defense this season, maybe than we've seen all of last season. Putting in some good challenges. He can still lose a runner, Chelsea style. Don't.
There's no such thing as a back post. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, there's not a back post back there.
Back there.
He can still absolutely gap a runner every now and again, but he's actually improved defensively, I feel like, and I think this game will suit him. So I think we'll definitely still see Zinchenko. I wouldn't mind seeing Aaron Ramsdale in this one.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, Raya had nothing to do. Sevilla literally not shots on target or attempts combined. They had one attempt the whole game, and it was in the 96th minute.
That's just shooting the ball to shoot the ball. Like, hey, we haven't done this all game.
I've like Sevilla were shocking, and I can only hope that Burnley offer as little as it'll be baffling if Burnley offer that as little as Sevilla did. I know for a fact Burnley will be better than Sevilla, and I still say Arsenal win 4-0.
Yeah, if they play their game.
I mean, is this the one for Kai Havertz?
No. He's gonna get a chance.
And he's gonna miss it.
And he's gonna miss it.
Did you see him miss the wide open header on the back post in the Sevilla game? 2 minutes in, just an absolute sitter. Just like
I'm trying to pull it up now.
Like it's I would say it's embarrassing, but it's Kai Havertz. We didn't necessarily expect him to dump that one in. Oh man. If it's anyone else, I feel like it's in the back of the net. Thankfully, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Didn't matter at all. Yeah, man. It's hard to even analyze that game. That's how bad Sevilla were. You know what I mean? It's one of those where it's like we showed up and they didn't, and that was all it took.
Right.
We just had to be on the pitch. That was literally all it took to win that game. I was shocked. I guarantee you Burnley will bring more than that. But if we, because a lot of times we've been accused this season of being less fluid, and I think that is a tactical tweak Mikel has done this season where he doesn't necessarily want us to balls to the wall, gung-ho, rock and roll every time there's a counterattack opportunity, just shove it down their throat. He values control more, it seems, this season. And so sometimes you'll see the likes of Martinelli and Saka pull it up in the middle of kind of a transition moment instead of attacking when, I'm sitting there screaming, go at him, go. And they pull it up and you're like screaming at the wall. In the last couple of matches, they've been a little bit more willing to go at their man, and we got to see that versus Burnley.
Yeah.
And I think if we do, it could get ugly. It definitely could get ugly. So I've gone 4-0. Nice easy day at the Emirates. Any hope for your boy company, Lewis?
No, I got a 3-0, but that's because I'm looking at this Sevilla stuff, the game, and I think Sevilla's strategy is they want to play in Europa League, so they're making sure they don't keep themselves in Champions League.
I mean, they didn't start Rakitic. Sergio Ramos was injured. They didn't start Ocampos. They didn't start Jesus Navas.
But they needed the points, though, right? Like,
but they'll win the next.
Legit felt like a Mikel Arteta. We don't want to be in this competition.
I'm telling you, they win the next two. They'll get 6 points. They'll end up on 8. But then I would guess, if I'm guessing, I'd say Lens.
It's about home field advantage. It's all about home field advantage in this group because Lens can win at home, but they can't win away. PSV beat them, but they beat Arsenal and PSV at home, and drew Sevilla. So it's the rest of the group's up in the air. We just need to not lose to Lens. If we don't lose to Lens next time out, we're first. We finish first.
Right, and so the other teams that, like, for example, Sevilla, they'll beat two of them, but then one of them will beat each other, and they'll be on 8 as well. But they'll beat them on goal difference, and they'll make sure they don't have the goal difference so they can go to Europa because that's their plan. But I mean, back to Arsenal, Burnley. Burnley plays open. I don't see why they would change, because if they change now and then they played you all and still got smashed, which would happen either way, then that's even a quicker reason to let go of the manager. Because it's either stick with it and try to get a result, or you change, you get massacred anyways, and then what? Like, you look worse if you change. So you just might as well.
If the only thing you have to stand right, don't abandon
go down with the ship, man.
Right, you have to go down with the ship, right?
I agree
with that. As a coach, I would agree with that.
I'd love to hear it. 3-0 to the Arsenal. You got a score for us?
I got 2-0, man. I think y'all are gonna do the the classic Arsenal. You're gonna come out hot. You're gonna punch him in the face again somewhere around halftime, and you're like, all right, that was a weekend.
I don't know, man. That's something that if you go back and look at all of our games this season, we have not scored a goal in the first 15 minutes.
Good for you guys.
Any game.
He told you guys. He told you guys not to do it, so that way you didn't lose your you lose your head.
No, you're 100%. You're 100% right. It really, honestly looks like our overall strategy is let's keep the handbrake on for the beginning of the season. For the first 30% of the season, let's stay in it, be in and around it, but not give all of our energy so that we don't have it in April. Is what it feels like, and I think slowly but surely, gradually, little by little, he's gonna let it loose a little bit more, and hopefully, come March, April, May, we're gonna be blasting people back. We're gonna be, curb stomping people. Hopefully, but see, we don't need to come out like we did last season to beat Burnley.
No,
they are so poor in front of the net that if we just come out, and that is the main thing that you can pick out of every Arsenal performance this season. We've been poor in front of the net on occasion, but we've been very solid defensively every time out. And Burnley are not gonna be able to handle the likes of Saliba, Gabriel, Rice, and so I don't think we necessarily need to come out and 2-0 in 7 minutes. If at halftime it's 2-0, we'll be just fine. We'll be just fine. But yeah, I think he purposefully has us kind of feeling our way into the game. As long as we make it to the 20th minute and we haven't conceded and we look strong and we're, that's when it's kind of like, okay, we're comfortable. We've grown into it. Now we're going to control the ball for the next 10 minutes and you won't see it. And we'll have lots of control. But it could be, a passing session, a training session where we low scoring, get a couple goals and just y'all don't, you chase shadows for the rest of the game.
Yeah. And a quick question. I mean, I sent it in the chat, but I mean, I don't know how relevant it is because you mentioned sort of like the pace of going in the season. So what do you think happens with Partey? Because I mean, it looks like he's going to be gone. And so do you go for someone to replace him?
Well, last rumor I heard was that he wanted to leave, which is a weird. I don't know why he would want to leave. It's his own fault. I mean, not that he's injured, but it's the fact that he's injured all the time is that he doesn't get any playing time. I assume that's why why they would say that he wants to leave. I don't know if maybe he hates the medical staff at Arsenal and spends so much time with them. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that, but man, he's missed more than he's played since he's come to the club. Why do we love Declan Rice so much? It's not only because he plays so well, but he does it every single week in, week out, just absolutely consistent as he could possibly be. Xhaka was super durable last season as well, just consistent over and over, picked every week over and over and over again, and yeah, I would been dreaming of the Partey, Rice, Odegaard midfield. But if he's not ever gonna, if you're gonna play 9 games a season, what good are you?
Yep.
Even if you're Leo Messi in your prime, if we get you 8 times a season,
I mean, bro. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir. We did the exact same thing. It was heartbreaking. You had to do it, but that's N'Golo Kante. I can't build a team around you. I can't build a midfield around you. I can't have you getting comfortable with Declan and Odegaard because when you're not there, then it's going to throw off my two best.
Everything.
I'm going to throw off my 2 best midfielders anyway. So I can't You're good.
I think that's another reason that Odegaard has struggled this season is because neither Rice nor Jorginho, definitely not El Nini, are progressive passers like Partey are. Rice is getting there, and he's got an eye for it. Jorginho can on occasion, but Partey's forward passing, looking through the lines, combined with his press resistance, is so good. He's just never fit. So for me, it's time.
Yeah.
Let him go. Good riddance.
Yep.
And to answer part B of your question, Lewis, Douglas Luiz, do it. Do it. January, I want Ivan Toney. I want Douglas Luiz. But I don't think he'll ever leave Villa. But that's what I would want. Boom. Yeah. I would love that. I would love to see both of them. I don't care what it costs. The problem is we would need to sell like 5 players just to buy Toney, because we're on the verge of an investigation ourselves. Rumor has it. So we're gonna have to try to figure out some long-term contracts or something to skirt the FFP.
If everyone messed up the FFP rule, the FFP rules, maybe it's time to start looking at the FFP and not us. Like, maybe y'all didn't explain it well enough. Maybe y'all didn't.
Because Luton just broke FFP.
In the 101 presser that you had with all the owners, you messed up the Q&A somewhere. Some lines got crossed.
Yeah,
because there's too many of us now breaking the rules. Like,
yeah. Oh man. Well, anyway, should be a nice, comfortable victory for Arsenal. As long as they do their job, do what they're supposed to, actually show up to the game. As long as Jorginho and Havertz don't pull Agent Chelsea, I think Arsenal will be just fine.
Not the game.
We'll look across North London because I'm definitely excited, more so than I have been all season, to discuss the Peacocks and their new injury crisis, which I don't wish injuries on anybody.
Yeah.
But if ever there was an injury crisis that made you smile, like,
I've spent 2 seasons rooting for my guys from the hospital room.
I'm just saying, all of the Spurs fans who are out here getting so gassed, Jamie O'Hara out here saying Spurs can win the league. Why not? Of course they can win the league. Of course. Look at how good they're playing. Rabble, rabble, rabble.
Rabble.
Now there's no Madison.
Yep.
There's no Van der Ven. No Udogie.
For 3 games.
No Romero. No, Udogie's just got the one game.
Right, the one. Romero's got the 3.
Romero. And Wolves at the Molineux have been different gravy this season. They beat City. They've been looking good. So,
dude, if they lose twice after that, we're unbeaten, last unbeaten team in the league.
Dude, well, what are you telling me, man? That's 4 huge players in their team.
They are going to be.
It's Eric Dyer and Chicken Royale, who we're about to see in defense.
Chicken Royale. I love it.
Chicken Royale, man. Especially if Pedro Neto comes back in, they get cooked. Are y'all gonna play a high line against the likes of Huang, Neto, Cunha? They're gonna. It's gonna be one-way traffic again, man.
The Korean guy is gonna get him.
Yeah, Hee-chan Huang.
Our Korean guy is better than your Korean guy.
Ooh, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. I detest Spurs as much as the next Arsenal fan, but you got to give it to Sonny. He's been probably their best player this season, bar Madison, and he's gonna have to have a massive captain's-like performance in this game, to kind of lift them. I haven't actually heard definitively that Madison is out.
Yeah.
The way he went down was weird.
It's like a high or a low ankle. Like, it's.
Well, that's what it looked like, But I've also heard that, that kind of thing could be like some kind of ligament or something. But Van der Ven, you saw that one. That one.
The way he pulls up, I've been like, bro.
That hammy's gone. That hammy was blown.
That's 3 weeks. Or that's 3 months.
Yeah, he's facing that. So, I mean, I don't think a lot of people are talking about Gomez in the midfield for Wolves. I think it's going to be an important battle with Basuma. I'm thinking it'll be Bentancur, Basuma, and Sarr.
Wow.
I don't know if Bentancur has a full 90 yet, though. So it might even be Højbjerg.
Yeah.
It might even be Højbjerg, Sarr, and Basuma. They have no creator now. Without James Maddison, like who is gonna pass the ball to Son? Even Richardson's injured. Even Richie's out. The pigeon man.
The chicken man himself.
Yeah, the chick. Yeah,
they belong together, man.
So according to the injury report, you got Van de Ven hamstring long term, so way out there. Maddison ankle. It says he'll be back for Villa, which is after the international break.
Okay.
You got Ben Davies ankle. They say he'll play against Wolves.
Really? That's going to be left back. That'll be the left back.
You got Sessegnon after the international break. Richarlison long term. So, and everybody else. The other 2 injuries are next year. So all their players are gone that are hurt.
So it'll be who's going to play in the center back? Because it'll have to be because Ben Davies would have been the other center back. So it's going to be Eric Dyer.
It says Phillips. Who is this guy? I don't know who this is. Who's Phillips?
Who?
Ashley Phillips. He is an 18-year-old from Wales.
Good luck with that.
Ooh, they're getting smoked. They're gonna get smoked.
They're gonna win this game.
I've got Wolves 2-1. I'm backing them. I've got Wolves 2-0.
3-2 Wolves.
3-2 Wolves.
I think Son is gonna be a menace because he's Son. That's who he is. But they have nothing else.
Hwang Hee-chan, baby. Hwang Hee-chan. I need it. 2-1. This is the 7:30 game too. This is a nice wake up on Saturday.
2-0.
2-0 to the Wolves. Man, I love to hear it. The Wandering Wolverhampton Wolves.
No. Let me go 1-0. I don't want to give Wolves too much.
1-0.
Yeah,
they have struggled to score at times, but when they see this wounded animal,
they got to
limping onto the pitch in the Black Forest, dude. Them Wolves are gonna smell blood.
This wounded little chicken lost in the woods.
Smell blood in the water. They're coming for it, man.
The last time Wolves played Spurs at home, they won, and Wolves has beaten them in the last 4. They've split 2-2.
Let's go.
So I mean, I think Wolves are gonna win.
I definitely think Wolves are gonna win. I'm backing them for sure.
Tottenham dropped 6 points back to back. That'd be nice.
Glorious. Love it. You just love to see it. And then you know who they got after that? You know who Spurs got? Oh, just does my heart so good. Just all the crap, all the we're going, all the Spurs fans that are getting
we're gonna go invincible and top Arsenal
so hyped, and then they're gonna go on a 3-game skid, and then it's Villa.
They're gonna drop 12 points.
Oh man, I'm so excited. I can't wait. I can't wait for the game on.
Let it flow.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, I love it. There's a school of thought that says that the Chelsea Spurs hate is stronger than the Arsenal Spurs hate, because the Arsenal, you're born with it. It's just in your DNA. The Chelsea had to learn to hate Spurs.
Yeah.
But same outcome. We all hate Spurs.
We all hate Spurs. Yeah. North London trash. That's all it is.
Yeah. But yeah, I do on an objective note, like, it's a horrifying disaster of in one game. For all of that to happen in one game is absolutely horrifying, and it could be the beginning of an absolute free fall.
Dominoes just keep falling, man.
It could be the beginning of a free fall for a minute, and if Big Ange, I think Big Ange is. I've heard a lot of things on YouTube, some of the content that I consume, talking about how, if he really is going to be one-dimensional, is he saying that he doesn't have another tactic? Because he told that reporter, man, we're sticking to our guns even if we got 5 guys on the field. I just feel like you got to be a bit more flexible in this league.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't have the personnel. And if we see that high line again, it could be a long day. Oh, man, because there are some older, cooler, wiser heads in that Wolves team than in the Chelsea team, and they've got to see it already. So, yeah, they'll have something. Gary O'Neill will have something ready for it.
Right.
And I'm here for it, baby. I'm ready for it. I'm absolutely ready for it. Yeah, so we've all gone for Wolves wins there. Should absolutely be a good game, bright and early on Saturday. Another game I have my eye on that I think might be one of the better games this weekend. Brentford, the Bees visit Anfield in an interesting one. Brentford on a bit of a resurgence. Anfield's going to be tough, though. Anfield's going to be really tough. What are we saying on this one?
2-0 to Pool.
Yeah, so you disagree. You don't think it's going to be difficult at all.
They bounce. I mean, I think Klopp gets them right. You didn't have your head in it.
I looked at the lineup when they played for today, and he rested his guys. So Salah will start this one, and Salah will be a menace again. He's at home. I just think Salah will be like, enough of this. And I think he's just going to drag them where they're supposed to be. I think it'll be a little more interesting than I expect. Jesus, I'm looking at the injury list. I didn't know the injuries were like this many.
Yeah, Liverpool's got a hospital bill on their hands. Yeah.
Robertson, Jones. But I mean, Brentford has 8 guys out too.
They got some injuries as well. We did see that Luis Diaz's father was returned today.
Yes, in Colombia. They showed he went back to Colombia. Yeah,
that's fantastic. He played today, though, I thought.
Yeah, but I think he went back after.
Right after the game? Yeah, well, that's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic news. You're definitely glad to hear that. Yeah, probably won't be back for this game.
Whatever,
No, that's fine. No, I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying. Yeah. I doubt he will be back after all that, and I don't think he should be. Definitely take care of your family, take care of business. Absolutely. Definitely wish him all the best.
Play in the national team, though. I want to feel play. I mean, I know he got called.
Yeah, that's an interesting one as well. Is he is from Colombia, right? He's Colombian.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. But as far as this one, is it going to be low block FC? Is that what we're going to see? I mean, that's what they brought to the bridge.
I think so.
But Liverpool's better at breaking that down than we are. They have more weapons.
I think this is a solid game. This is where Egyptian Messi chance will come out again. I think you'll have a master class in this one.
What's your score?
I got 3-1 though. I think Brentford will get one, but I think 3-1.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. I think it's going to be a stout defensive type game for Brentford. I think Mbomo is going to be important as far as helping them to get out. And there's opportunity to do that as well, because especially if McAllister is playing the 6 again, that's not to say, he's not a quality player. He's just not your bruiser. He's just not your destroyer in the midfielder. He's not really the guy that breaks up the counters. So if Mbomo can, win some second balls or create good opportunities where Wissa can maybe win the second balls and they can advance up the field, I think they can find some joy. So I've also given them a goal, but it is Anfield, and I've got Liverpool 2-1. Split your guys' predictions there.
I like it.
Maybe a free kick or something for the Bees, but it won't be enough, and Liverpool will march on. I feel like they'll bounce back from the game today against Toulouse, which was a pretty crazy game, by the way. Lots of controversy again with the VAR. As you know, that's kind of how it goes. And speaking of controversy, segues are weird. The greatest team that's ever graced the pitch will be playing against Luton Town this weekend. But first, we will discuss the craziness last night in Copenhagen. There's so much to unpack in the Man U Copenhagen game. They actually, it was another one of those that was so broken up by checks and injuries, and somebody in the stands had a heart attack or something at one point. There was so many different. There was 13 minutes of first half stoppage time. I actually went back and watched this full 90. It was wild. There was some real contentious stuff. The handball. I feel like both handballs were so soft. So soft, man. Harry Maguire heads it down to a guy who isn't even looking at him, and it hits his arm, and they call a pin. It's. I understand the ruling and the natural position stuff. It's just man, this is.
But sometimes
is this what it is now?
Here's where I disagree with the actual letter of the law with the handball. The way that the way the modern era is looking at it, right? The natural position of movement sometimes makes your body bigger. It's naturally to lift my arms this way to jump. It's naturally to.
That's what it was. He was like this when he jumped.
Right. So, and it's naturally to move like Sterling. It's natural to put my hand out to run this way. I can't not use my arms. They're part of my movement. It's part of ergonomics. And it's I get it. I get why it is a handball. I just, sometimes that's the unfair side of the handball ruling. Now it can be completely unintentional. Whereas that's what the rule's for, right? It's for someone coming across, the West Ham game, jumping in front of it and smacking it with their hand, that's a hand, or or making themselves lunging. I hate the call when it's not intent, when there's no mind to it, when you don't even know it hit you there, you had no
when you legit look in the other direction,
right?
Yeah,
you have no say. I hate that, but I've seen it called time and time again.
That's unfortunately, those were not the most contentious calls in the game. Marcus Rashford's red card, just
wild.
Man, this one feels really sour because there's less than zero intent.
Yep.
It's a 100% accident. You
saw what they said on the post game show, right? Where the referee was they did letter of the law. And I'm but it's a yellow. I mean, it was a yellow for sure.
Reds require malice or complete disregard for safety in a challenge.
Here's where I disagree. We've been incredibly critical, and rightly so, of VAR and the referees and just some of the egregious errors that have happened. and we've all cited consistency. We just want, please be consistent. And you have to say that this call is consistent with what we've seen this season. Now, I disagree that there is any kind of reckless intent or any kind of excessive force or anything like that. But what we've seen this season, Gusto, Curtis Jones, for example, when all of the studs are on the ankle like that, and we know the verbiage. It's deemed dangerous. It's deemed endangering the safety of an opponent. And they have deemed it so every time this season. So as far as consistency is concerned and letter of the law, okay. But we need to have a discussion about the spirit of the game, about how the guys who are reffing the game need to understand and look at these situations, not just situations like this, many different types of situations in the game where, as a player, these kinds of things, are maybe natural in a game, and it's not necessarily. It's like those handball decisions where the guy didn't purposely handball. That's an accidental handball. For a fact that something like that just kind of happens sometimes, but they call it anyway, and they're just kind of ignoring the fact that Rashford never, ever meant to hurt him. He never even meant to step on him. The guy just, he's like stepping across him to shield the ball.
Yep. His foot went in front of his.
He's literally just stepping across to shield the ball, and the guy gets there a split second before him. I mean, Rashford's not even looking that way. He literally gives a peek, and his head's coming back as he's stepping across. I get it, but this feels really, really harsh.
Do you feel like it took away, like, Man United's commanding this game?
Like, they were.
Right.
I mean, and they were value for it too. It wasn't one of those they got a couple of flukish. They scored in the 3rd minute, and they put it on them for another 20 and got a second one. And they almost made it to halftime. But it's like the 40th minute when the red card happens, and they give a goal immediately. They give up a goal immediately. I will say they lost their heads. That's the only explanation, really, because it's just straight capitulation.
And it's funny. It's funny too, right? Like, I've said it. This is why, as a winger, I refuse to go back on defense. Because, and hear me out on this, because I know I'm not the greatest at tackling. I know I'm not the greatest at timing that judgment. I'm great at watching you move this way, and then I'm going to go, okay, well, then I'm going to jerk left a little bit, and I'm going to use some speed. Not, I'm going to cut you off my ball, use my body, and like, Rashford's kind of a wingy player. I've said, like, this is where, like, it reminded me of, like, Drogba in the box against Munich. Like, what is a striker? Why are you right outside of the 18 challenging for the ball? Like, it's not your job. I understand that might be your position right now, but that's not your job.
It's when Bukayo Saka steps to James Maddison and then gets spun in circles. It's why is he the guy? Why?
Right.
Why?
Right.
Why is Gabriel Martinelli defending Holland right now? I'm really curious as to what happened there. Like,
not the person you want marking. Yeah, it's just, and it's just a strike. I mean, it's just we've said it a million times, and it's a striker's challenge, man.
It wasn't even a challenge, though. That's what's so crazy about it. It wasn't even a challenge. It's not even a tackle. You can't even call it that. He's just stepping in front of the guy. Yeah. It's crazy. And it was all downhill from there. But again,
two, because they went up 3-2.
They did it, and that was the soft handball for their penalty. That was like, but then they had one called against them that was just the same as.
Did they score on the red card call?
No, it was literally right after though. It was like 30 seconds after.
Okay.
It wasn't like a pin. It was like 30 seconds
No.
after.
I thought it was from the play.
It might have been from the free kick. Yeah, it might have
Okay,
been. It was like right then. Yeah. But I think that after they're up 3-2, some of the things Ten Hag did were weird. Again, putting Mason Mount up top. Amrabat comes in at halftime after they've given 2 goals. It was just some odd tactical stuff. Why not just park the bus? Mourinho, you've got your goal. There's 10 minutes left in the game. You're down a guy. You don't need to. You're away from home. Did you see the banner that they put up in the stands about this is your nightmare? Theater of nightmares or something like that. So just see it out, man. Just see it out. Just
pride, man.
Clog the box. Clog the box. Don't give them any space with,
The best part was when Copenhagen in an interview, it was one of their players said that they didn't play a good game either. They said, how did you play? And they said, well, we really didn't play that well, which, was sort of that dig of.
And we score 4 times and still beat you.
The first goal is class.
Did we lose him? He looks frozen.
He does look frozen.
Who?
Bro, what
Oh, you're back. There he is. You were frozen for a second.
Oh.
No, you're back, though. You're good. You're good. And so Luton Town visit Old Trafford.
Mm-hmm.
And now, normally, like if things were normal, and you look at this, you're like, wow, they should be a bludgeoning. That there should be, bad things happening at Old Trafford to Luton. But I mean, they couldn't, could they? They could.
Can lightning strike twice?
Can they do it
1-1?
Really do? I mean,
that'd be a massive point. That'd be a massive point for them.
Now, I wrote in the chat when United lost the other day, man, this has to be the final nail.
I'm shocked this way.
They
I'm shocked
lose
he does a job.
Game.
Oh, man.
It's over.
Even if they draw, even if they don't beat Luton, if Luton get anything from this game.
How do you not get sacked when you're not even going to be in? He's not even going to make the Europa spot.
I mean, they could. Mathematically, they still could.
Yeah, but Galatasaray's going to be licking their chops.
I didn't say they would. I said mathematically.
Meanwhile, my manager loses the first game of the entire set and gets sacked.
Oh my goodness, man!
Culture's different, man.
Yeah, if Luton go to Old Trafford and beat Man United, eras will end. I know one era that'll definitely come to an end. Graham Potter. Coming in hot.
Coming in from the beach.
Coming in hot, bro.
Coming in with that sunburn from the beach.
Oh my god, I'm here for it. I would love that so much.
Love that so much.
It'd be so great. I don't see it though. Luton are really, really poor. And yes, they got the draw versus Liverpool last time out. That was at home versus a very lackluster Liverpool side with a typical Darwin Noodles back to his former self.
At Old Trafford?
Huh?
Twice.
Didn't they just get smacked at Old Trafford?
Yeah, but Luton is not City or Newcastle.
Yeah, that's true. And I saw this stat because that's the narrative right now. Højlund has the same amount of Champions League goals this season as Haaland does.
Great value. Haaland has just as many as.
I mean, it just happens so that their comparison in the league is not close at all. But
Højlund doesn't score a league goal. But I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this, and it'll make you smile about that little comparison there. When Rasmus Højlund scores, United have not won a game.
Not one.
Not once.
Well, I'm going to go against the trend. I'm going to pick United 3-0, and Hoyland will score one, and he'll break that.
Yeah.
Because if they do not win,
I can't even imagine that.
I can.
They're bad. They've been bad, but Luton are terrible.
It's gonna be United 2-0. They're gonna win.
Yeah, I said 1-0. I figure we look at a stout performance from Luton, and Man U is poor, and then in the 79th minute they'll have just one Bruno moment, and you'll want to puke and turn the rest of the game off, and they'll win 1-0.
Yeah, if we can, honestly though, Onana masterclass of tomfoolery is what I'm really hoping for, man. Just Luton 2-0 early, sit on it.
That would be so great. That would be absolutely glorious.
That's what my heart wants to pick. I want to put it
There's
out
no
there, but
chance.
I can't do it for the league, man.
There's no chance. There's no chance.
No chance.
Yeah. Well, segues are weird. I met a Nottingham Forest fan today. So we'll take a look at that game. They visit the Bubbles, the Hammers, the West Hammers. An interesting one. Both like to sit and counter. I think West Ham will probably have more of the ball in their own stadium, and I do think that they're better as a whole. But I've gone 2-2. I think Forest will put a. They are poor away from home, though. But I think they'll put in a performance. They'll put in a shift. And it might actually be a bit of a back-and-forth game. Because the way Forest played against Villa, they had no issues, kind of doing the basketball thing, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And West Ham this season, we've seen, don't really have a problem doing that either. West Ham played today, got a 2-1 over Olympiacos in Greece. So they might be a little hungover. Had to travel back tonight. So bit of a quick turnaround. Actually, I think this is a Sunday game as well.
They play Sunday.
Yeah, it's a Sunday game as well. So shouldn't be too bad. Should be rested. I've gone for a 2-2. I think these teams on current form are quite even. And I think there could be goals. Could be a good game. Could be a good game for sure. What are we saying?
Bubbles got it.
The Bubbles.
They got it. Yeah. I'm gonna go 2-1.
2-1 to the West Hammers.
Yeah. Gonna have a lot of the ball at home.
Kudos.
I'm going 2-0 West Ham. Go Bubbles.
Yeah, man. I think Kudus will probably get a start. He's been looking good. Good against Arsenal. Scored another screamer at the weekend in the Brentford game. That was a fantastic match, by the way. And he was really good. So I'm sure he'll be rewarded. I did not actually even get to watch the highlights of the Olympiacos game, but I expect he played. So yeah, I imagine we'll see him again. And that one might surprise a few folks and actually be a fun game, be a decent game. But speaking of games that are going to be maybe not so fun, Everton visit Crystal Palace in what could very well be the snooze fest of the week.
0-0.
I knew for a fact when I was doing my picks today, I was like, Xavier, I thought the words that I would hear was, this has 0-0 written all over it.
Yep.
That's what I thought I was going to hear. And so I almost picked that myself because I was like, man, this really does.
I have 0-0 written.
This really does look like a snooze fest. But then I let myself think about, Everton looked kind of bright on the counter last game out, and Palace might do something. So I said 1-1, and I think I talked myself into it. To be honest with you. Yeah, I'm sticking with it. I'm gonna stick with it. I've said 1-1.
It would be big for Everton to continue this little run. because they're going to need the points come March, April.
Yeah, they are on a little bit of a run, but I don't even, man, I couldn't pick a Palace game to save my life.
Yeah, they're this year's Wolves for you, man.
Maybe that's why I went 1-1. It's like, I don't know, man.
Oh, it was Palace last year, too. That's what you kept doing.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
Yeah, Palace.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Eze and Elise are still out.
Our team.
Every now, like, it's like random who steps up for them in each game. You're not really sure. You know, Mateta might even come in and have a masterclass, or like Eduardo will come in and then he won't even be in the next lineup.
And he
So
won't
it's
play
like
for the next 6 games.
you know, I don't even know, man. And Everton have looked a little decent, proven in recent times. DCL's gotten on the score sheet back-to-back games, so maybe there might be a goal in some goals in this one. I've gone for a 1-1. What you saying, Lewis?
I'm looking at scores. I mean, the last game they played against each other was a 0-0 draw. Just so
It's
you
got
know,
0-0 written all over it.
last one was a 0-0. But then I went backwards in the last one. Before that was 3-0 Everton. Before that was 3-2 Everton, and then it was 4-0 Palace. Based on the fact that these teams, based on the fact that these teams are super hard to call, looking at their former results as well, they've scored in all of their games. I'm gonna go with a strange score, but I'm going 2-2.
2-2.
2-2.
A barnstormer.
2-2.
Here, X is like, this is gonna be. I'm gonna be asleep for this game.
I think they're so bad that they're gonna be bad goals.
Like they're both, they're just, I know.
It's gonna be 3 goals in the game.
I feel like it's a 2-2 with at least one own goal in there.
They're all from set pieces though. Like it's not open play. It's just
as soon as they get a corner kick, it's like they're lethal. But anywhere else on the field, it's
oh man.
Oh my goodness, man. Once again, weird segues. Brighton have bounced back in the Europa League today with a victory again over Ajax, who are just awful this season.
Aren't they in like the relegation zone?
They're like bottom. They're like they're not doing good at all. And Brighton got another 2-0. A Dingro with an absolute belter for the second goal. Whew. Kid's looking hot. He's on fire right now. Definitely on form. Probably gets the start versus the Blades at home. This is the game for De Zerbi, for the Gulls, for Brighton to bounce back in the league. Finally get back to winning ways. I'll be shocked if it's anything but a Brighton win.
Sheffield are bad, man. They just love.
They're
you know
so
what?
bad.
And you know what? It's not even like De Zerbi. They'll give it if you just keep at it. They'll give it to you. Like they'll just be, hey man, you worked hard this week. You deserve 3 points. Here you go. Like they'll give it to you at the end. You just gotta ride it out. They'll be good for 70 minutes. You just gotta ride it out.
Sometimes they won't even be good that long. They were good for about 20 versus Arsenal.
I was about to say, what, 25 against Arsenal?
It wasn't good, man. Yeah. I feel like with Sheffield, it's been, if you kind of break them down early and get one early, you'll be all right. But like you say, man, even if this is 0-0 in the 70th minute, the way Brighton are just relentless,
you'll get it.
They'll get there. They'll get it over the line. With respect to Brighton's recent kind of struggles, haven't really been at their fluid best. I've gone for just 2-0 to the Seagulls.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah, you want the same?
I mean, Sheffield's not scoring.
Not even at all.
No, so you know what? I'll go 3. Just because Brighton can be a little explosive. I haven't seen it in a while, but this, like you said, this is a good opportunity for them to get back. Should be an easy win, easy team, play your style against. Yeah, I'll say 3.
What you got, Lewis?
Well, I was gonna pick 3-0, but because I want to make it interesting, I'm gonna go 4-0.
Oh,
Sheffield's not good, man. They shouldn't have won the last game.
Sheffield's not good.
Yeah, they were given the last game.
They wasn't supposed to win that game. Come on, man.
Gifted. And we all know, VAR gifts are pretty common this season, so they could get a gift. But I think that if Sheffield score, it'll like piss Brighton off, and it'll be an even worse scoreline. So if they get 1, it might be 5.
4-0. 4-0
Yeah.
Brighton.
I can definitely see the 4-0 for sure. Speaking of large score lines, the Toon army with their spears and their shields and their axes visit the coast and the Bournemouth Cherries in what's going to be a bloodbath, and I don't mean that on the score sheet. Oh man, this one could get ugly the way Bournemouth are open at home. Glad to see Newcastle with the loss in Germany. They are now on my list of teams to vehemently hate with a fiery passion. Some teams it's just like, I kind of hate you. I hate you because we have to play against you. And then there are teams that you really enjoy hating. Yes. And Newcastle have made that list for me now. The way some of their, I don't want to be too harsh with my words, just ridiculously dirty play.
You have a team of Diego Costas, man. He's in every position.
That's being generous. Absolute thugs, man. It's really, I'm not a fan of them anymore at all, and I really took some vindictive pleasure in seeing them lose to Dortmund.
That's a great game though, man.
It was
a great
It
game.
was a fantastic game. This one won't be because Bournemouth are bad. They're just too open, and they just got Newcastle are not a team to do that against.
They thrive in that.
They didn't lay a glove on Arsenal. What do you say, Lewis?
They just got beat 6-1. They got another one coming.
It could be another one coming. I've gone for 3. I've set a 3-0 to the Toon. It's gonna be blood on the field. It's not cherry juice. It's blood. They've kicked somebody. They've stabbed someone this time, actually. You're going 6-1, Lewis. That was your score?
I'm going to go 4-0.
4-0? Yeah.
No, wait. I got 4-1. Something about it makes me feel like they're going to score a dumb goal, so 4-1.
Newcastle facing a little bit of an injury thing as well. Dan Burns down. Fabian Schär is still down. Not Schär, but Votman. Votman is still out. Isak's still out. But they should have more than enough for Bournemouth. What you saying, X?
Bournemouth are bad.
And Guimaraes is suspended.
Good. Yeah. He's suspended?
Yeah.
Why?
Accumulation.
Good.
Wow.
Bum.
That's 2-0. It's
2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. It could get bad.
It could. Definitely could.
This could get bad. I might want to call 5.
Yeah?
I'm going to go to... I just want y'all to know that I think it can get bad.
Yeah, I just want you to know that if it's 5-0, you're not getting points. You're not getting the points for that.
And a random thing not connected to this, the internet listens to us because it just popped up on my thing because I was searching stuff that it said via The Athletic, so this is pretty credible, that Arteta's going to sell 4 players in January so they can get Tony.
Makes sense.
With your homie with
Can we sell Kai Havertz?
nope, not yet.
Yeah, they can sell him in January, can't they?
No, I thought you couldn't sell them within the year of the buy.
Oh, I thought it was January.
That's a dumb rule. We need to get rid of him. That's a dumb rule. We need to sell him on
Loan.
loan move to Osasuna or something ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
Artavian, the first one gone, if that's the setup for Tony.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Newcastle, Sword Shields wins.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That leaves just the single one. The Cottagers, Fulham, visiting Aston Villa for a thrashing. Villa looked pretty lackluster away from home at Forest last weekend rather. They've beaten AZ Alkmaar. I'm pretty sure 2-1 today. Probably more of a tough game than this one at the weekend will be, home to Fulham, who cannot seem to score. Yes, this could be a bad one. They'll bounce back. Villa will bounce back and have a good day. Have a fun day back at Villa Park. I've said 3-0. I just don't think. Yes, I mean, unless Paulinho and Pereira just have an absolute crazy game, I just don't think they're going to be able to get close to the likes of McGinn, Douglas Luiz in there, Diaby, and I think the battle between Diaby and Watkins and Anthony Robinson on the wings will be fun. Be fun to see some speedsters out there. But overall, I think Villa are just going to have way too much at home, and Fulham have been poor. Still really missing Mitrovic. Raul Jimenez has just not even done anything at all. So, yeah, Villa, light work, 3-0.
2-0.
2-0? All right.
3-1.
3-1. Give him a goal.
Yeah. They're going to catch Villa on the counter. They're going to counter the counter.
The counter of the counter. Nice. Ollie Watkins hat trick, huh?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised. He's definitely flying. I think he scored today. He may have scored today. I don't remember. But yeah, I think it'll definitely be a bounce back game for the Villains at home, and Fulham in trouble. Fulham in trouble. I feel like it, but hopefully there are worse teams in the league than Fulham, and they might just be okay this season.
About 4 or 5 of them for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you go. Predictions are in, and while we're here, we'll go ahead and pop up that predictions table as it stands. For those listening on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and other platforms out there, Patrick is killing it. 131 points at the top. My man Lewis at 122 in second place. I myself have hit 118 so far, and Xavier's on my coattails with 112 points. Season's still early. As far as predictions go, it's anybody's game as long as Patrick lets one of us win. But yeah, there you have it. Massive clash on Sunday. I'm an honorary blue.
Yes, sir.
And the darker shade, as you could probably guess. And we're begging for Chelsea to do the business at Stamford Bridge. Definitely expecting Arsenal to get the comfortable win versus Burnley. Definitely got an eye on United and Luton. Hopefully Luton Town will do a madness. But yeah, if you're as excited about Wolves beating Spurs as we are, go ahead and get the likes up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We are on our way to 200 subscribers. Of course, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. It's been a good one. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and you will see us next time.